Hallo kijkers van GG-GameGEaks en welkom bij de Stanley Parable. Ik ben Mitch Bemanje en ik speel vandaag voor jullie dit spel. Ik heb geen idee wat het precies is. Ik heb wat filmpjes bekeken en echt, ik snap er werkelijk waar helemaal niks van. Volgens mij is het echt een onmogelijk spel. Dus we gaan gewoon starten en we zien vanzelf al waar we uit gaan komen, want ik heb echt geen idee. Ben benieuwd. Ik hoop dat het wel een leuk spel is. Volgens mij is het echt mindblowing namelijk. Dus er gebeuren allerlei rare dingen. Dus we gaan het meemaken. Zo, hij is geladen.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oké.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Oh, leuk zeg.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Ja, je moet ervan houden.
Stanley was happy.
Zou ik niet zijn. Stel je voor, je zit heel achter de computer om knoppen te drukken.
Something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, ik kan lopen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja, de meeting room. Laten we daarin gaan, maar waar is dat?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ik heb de neiging om nou naar rechts te gaan. We zullen eens een keer goed gelovig doen. Het is echt zo'n trollactie. Ik kan gewoon naar links gaan eigenlijk.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oké. Al die deuren vallen gelijk dicht.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ik kan eigenlijk ook gewoon naar beneden lopen. En ik ga straks een keer iets anders doen dan wat hij zegt. Wat staat hier? Oh, executive bathroom. Dat zou wel niet de kantoor van zijn baas zijn.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Nou, dat kan ik begrijpen.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
What the fuck?
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh. Oh, dit geluid bevalt me niet zo, jongens. Oh shit, het is toch geen horror of zo, hè? Waarom bevalt me dit niet? Loading, yay. Wat een vreemd spel. Je kan het spel beïnvloeden op een of andere manier. Maar ik heb tot nu toe, geloof ik, nog gewoon mezelf achtervolgd. Dus misschien had ik dat niet moeten doen dan of zo. Nee, daar zijn we te goed voor.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Ja, anders ik
It was
wel.
a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh jee. Oh jee.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Dit bevalt me echt niet eigenlijk. Ik ga het gevoel dat ik heel hard ga schrikken.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Hebben we wel, toch?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Oké. Daar is helemaal niemand verder aanwezig ook.
This mind control facility,
iemand is
it was too
ontslagen.
horrible to believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Zou kunnen.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Had
he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ja.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oké. Vaag. Laten we het dan maar uitdoen. Yay! Nou, het uitspeelt. Denk het niet, maar...
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Nee.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone
lekker vaag dit, jongen.
What to do or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Kom ik hier nou?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Ben ik
the
in één keer
feeling of
buiten?
liberation. The immense possibility of the new path before
Kijk achter je,
him.
kijk achter je.
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Oh!
And Stanley was happy.
Happy. Beat the game. Prestatie unlocked. Wat? Ik denk dat ik het geoond heb, het spel. Dat kan toch niet? Dat kan niet.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wat?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Huh?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
What the fuck?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ik vind het echt vreemd, mensen. Ik ga even stoppen. Ik moet het even verwerken, mensen. Dit is echt heel erg raar. Ik wil jullie graag bedanken voor het kijken naar deze aflevering van de Stanley Parable. Ik vind het een heel raar spel tot nu toe. Maar goed, wie weet wordt het nog anders. Of ben ik continu hetzelfde aan het doen. Dat zullen we nog wel zien. In ieder geval bedankt voor het kijken naar deze aflevering. Geef even een groen duimpje. Abonneer eventjes op GG-GameGEaks. Onderin staat de subscribe dingetje. En dat zit ook in de annotation die hierna komt. Mensen, later.